you have to use a lot of different skills in order to be successful at forensic accounting. So you do need to know accounting because, again, most of the time, the accounting, you have to understand accounting records and you have to understand how money is recorded and tracked in order to be able to find errors or irregularities or improprieties in the financial statements. And then you also, once there has been some type of fraud or problem, you have to be able to fix the accounting books in order to get relevant, useful information to back to the decision makers and get everything back on track. And so you have to have those accounting skills, but really you need strong investigative skills. You need to understand data analytics. You need to understand finance. You need to understand economics. And you need to understand kind of human psychology and how that plays a role in how businesses work, what controls you might put in place in order to prevent fraud from happening in the first place, what might motivate people in order to commit fraud, and how do we identify those red flags kind of through the hiring process if we can. And so I think that when I was working in forensic accounting, the approach was a little bit more reactive. So there would be a problem, and then the forensic accountants would come in and figure out, who, what, why, when, where, and then fix the problem. And over time, that approach has become more preventative. So now the idea is if we can put controls in place and try and prevent opportunities for fraud from arising in the first place, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And so let's try and have, a very strong control environment. Let's do fraud risk assessments. Let's try and close any opportunities for fraud, in addition to having, strong detection techniques in order to minimize the impact of fraud. Because we do know, unfortunately, that there will always be fraud. Certain people, and there are certain times that people are going to act in their own best interest and potentially take advantage of a business or organization. And so knowing that there will always be fraud, let's try and put some controls in place and have a strong accounting system so that we can try and prevent or minimize the effects of that.